This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to see Harlem Eubank here chipping away at the gym ahead of 25th of October, about a couple of weeks away now till fight night. I guess how's things? How are you ahead of a fight in 3 weeks' time?
Is it good? In full flow now, and just finishing up last bits of sparring and prep for my long-awaited return. Man, I can't wait to get back in there.
I was going to say, you say long waited, and it has been. Like, you've been in camp for quite a few dates now, different opponents, but now to finally be sort of fighting. Been 11 months since your last fight in Brighton, which was like a fight that you ride high momentum from. So yeah, good to sort of be in there, but also frustrating as well at the same time. Yeah,
so I've been in the gym all year, so it's just, it's time now to get in there and do the business and get back to what I do best, and that's put on entertaining performances. And I'm looking forward to getting back in there and doing it now. It's been too long out the ring, and we're going to get back to business on the 25th of October.
How did you deal with that inactivity, like dealing with not fighting for so long, especially with a fight like that, like the Schwarzkopf fight where you sort of rode a lot of momentum there, getting a stoppage that no one's really ever done before, and then to sort of have a bit of uncertainty after that? Obviously, we know the whole thing with Azim. Like, how did you deal with all that inactivity and period out of the ring?
It's difficult, but this is the fight game. Sometimes, you get periods where you're not getting to show what you can do, and I've had that a lot in my career, and I guess, I've learned how to deal with it and continue grinding in the gym, continue working on the craft and becoming a better fighter, and I just need the opportunity to show that now. And the next few fights, the public are definitely going to see a new and improved Harlem Eubank, and I've been waiting to show that all year. So just need the opportunity and the nights to put in them performances, and that's what I'm ready to do.
Do you feel like you've seen that switch now, where fights are, you could say it's probably getting more important now, and the fights are getting tougher, the opponents, the levels are stepping up definitely, and rightly so, with how the trajectory is in your career? Have you felt that switch? Things are starting to get real serious now, like the learning, or what you're always learning, but the sort of that sort of like the 8 rounders, the 10 rounders, the sort of getting the rounds in, it's sort of almost done now. It's really like full steam ahead.
100%, but this is the kind of life that I've been living for the last 11 years since I turned professional. Since I've been boxing, I've been in it every day. I've been in the gym. I haven't been training camps, then, go away for a while and come back. I've been living the life for 11 plus years. So, I've been ready for these nights every time. I prepare for a fight. I prepare for the best version of the guy in front of me. It's never, it's never about their record, what they've done before. They're coming to try and prove a point. They're coming for a name. They're coming to try and set their life up, and that's what I'm prepared for every time. So, in that, I'm ready for these big nights. I've been ready for the bigger guys. And every time I step up, every time I've stepped up in the past, I've shown that that's where my best performances come. That's where I make a statement when I've got someone in front of me that's considered a tough obstacle. That's what brings the best out of me.
And just sort of, as you mentioned there, with them fights, like the Adam Azim fight obviously would have been one that would have been a fight where you would have been able to prove how good that you can be. And I know sort of that's been and gone, that chapter's closed now, but sort of, do you ever look back on it with frustration that you didn't really get to show how good you could be with a fighter like Azim?
Yeah, it's a very frustrating time. We tried to make the fight, and they didn't make it happen, and now we move on with my career and pushing forward to get into world title contention position, and that's where we're at. We're moving towards the big fights and the big nights, and pursuing my dream in the sport, and that's not that's not necessarily any names. That's heading towards my destiny and following my path. And I've shown before that I want to pursue them big fights along the way, and I've tried hard to make them happen. And I'll continue to do that as I move forward through my career. But we're really pushing towards getting into the world title contention position.
And since the whole fallout, and obviously Azim's now fighting O'Hara Davis, like he's been heavily questioned about yourself and what happened there. And I think Shane McGuigan done an interview with Boxing News, and he was pretty fair, and he said, Harlem didn't sort of want to wait any longer than he already did do. But it seems like sort of on the Azim side, he did put a little bit of the blame on yourself, sort of accusing you of obviously pulling out the fight and sort of saying you didn't want the fight. Was that sort of frustrating to hear? Because you obviously have a different story to that.
Well, I mean, it's just a lie for the media to spin a narrative. We were in contract for one fight, which obviously he pulled out with an injury. And what come after that was, waiting around, and then at a certain point we were out of contract. So that's the end of it. When you're out of contract, you can either negotiate to make it happen or you move on. And they didn't make it happen.
Yeah, just briefly touch on that again. Like a lot of what Ben Shalom said and what Adam Azim said, that the change in management was the sort of the key point where the fight sort of wanted to go in a different direction. Is that true for yourself? Would you say?
No, not at all. I mean, if you want to make a fight, you don't delay for 6 months and find someone else and do the fight in 6 weeks. Like if you want to make the fight, you make it happen. If you're delaying someone for 6 months, it shows all you need to know really.
Definitely. And moving on, you talk about sort of the big fights and the big nights that are coming soon. Obviously with a welterweight move now, I'm sort of having that move up in weight. When you look at that and you look at sort of the change, do you think that your body will definitely have a benefit from all of that?
Yeah. I'm naturally strong at my weight. I'm naturally growing. I've been growing and developing since I started out, and I've obviously always competed at 140. But I think 147 will suit my body more now. And there's one way to find that out, and that's competing at that weight. And I've been sparring middleweights and super middles and light middles the whole of my career. So I'm definitely strong enough to handle myself there.
Do you think you also have that, and I ask a lot of people who have sort of been open about weight struggles, do you think you have that mental benefit, as you say, the scales behind us there, of after every training session stepping on that and being worried about, we still need to cut more? Do you think you've got less mental pressure on yourself when you don't have to make such a tight weight limit?
Yeah, I think more than the mental, it's just, physically how much you've taken away from yourself. The main thing when you get in the ring is being able to perform at your best. And that's what it's about. Last time, I done everything right. And, if you would have heard from round 6 in the fight, I had cramps that were kind of turning my muscles sideways. Yeah. And, found a way to get through it and continue to get to produce a statement performance. But when you get everything right with the weight, the performances are only going to get better. So that's what we're looking forward to now.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickly moving on, not only do you have a fight date, obviously your cousin Eubank Jr., he's fighting this Saturday, Kamil Szeremeta. Obviously you'll not be there because you've got a big fight in yourself to look forward to in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, excited, I guess, to see him finally back in the ring, as he's also dealt with his own inactivity issues.
Yeah, he's been out of the ring a long time too, so I'm looking forward to him getting back in there and getting active again. We've seen what he can do when he's active, when he's on form, and I think he's been training hard for this one. He looks like he's found his mojo again, and I'm looking forward to him getting back in there, make a statement, and getting back into the mix and pursuing the heights that he thinks he can get to in the sport.
I did want to ask you, and I know it's obviously it's a family thing, but especially as of recently, Chris Eubank Jr. has come under probably a lot of criticism from the public and from different sort of personalities in the sport, especially with this Szeremeta fight and people sort of asking, sort of calling him to fight, sort of whoever sort of he is calling out. What do you make of, I guess, the public criticism that Junior may receive?
Chris is always going to speak his mind, whatever he thinks. he's always happy to speak his mind, and I think Ben had a hard week the week before, in the AJ fight build up, and I think Junior came to the rescue, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that's just to cut you. I know you're touching on there. Obviously, some colourful words, I guess, to say about all the promoters in the launch press conference.
Chris doesn't need much of an excuse to speak his mind, and I think he was probably given the green light to let rain on everybody, but everyone has their own personal experience with in boxing, with promoters and with people, and that's his personal views, but everyone's views are different. I have a great relationship with some of the people we mentioned. Obviously, Caller's promoting me, and I think he's doing a good job. And obviously, I have a great relationship with Frank Smith. The rest, I haven't dealt with too much, but boxing's very personal, and people have different views in the sport, and Chris is one of them people that's happy to express his views. Especially if someone gives him the green light to do so.
You're not worried for the next family gathering then, when Eubank and Frank Smith and everyone all together?
Listen, family gathering is always interesting, so especially with the Eubanks. There's always hot topics. So we experiences in the sport, and like I say, Junior, is happy to express his. But maybe he had the green light to do so, and Turk got everyone together and banged their heads together, and sorted it out for the sport, because ultimately it's about producing great nights. That's what he wants to do. He's in the sport to produce great nights, without the politics, without the saying stuff to spark a build up. What he really cares about is producing great nights for the sport that the boxing fans can enjoy, and he's the one that's turning the sport around for the good.
Absolutely, and sticking on the topic of family stuff, you posted a reel on Friday of, actually, it was obviously, I think Junior was the one that posted it, but it's obviously of your uncle Chris Eubank Sr. He talks about a great piece of advice, all about sort of taking risks for the ultimate reward. When you hear things like that must fill you with so much motivation for yourself, where you're constantly taking risks every day.
Yeah, he knows, he's been there, he's seen it, he's done it, and he's very good at committing pieces like that to memory, and he has a great voice to express it, to make it hit home. About taking risks, about taking chances in life. You're going to be judged either way, so it's about taking the moment whilst it's here, and I can listen to that all day, because it resonates, and it's powerful stuff. So it's when it comes from him, especially someone that's done it in the sport. He's felt the punches, he's been there, he's been in the heat of it, and someone that's practiced how to deliver it. It really hits home, and a powerful video to send that message home to people that take risks and take the chances in life. If you're passionate about something, go for it, and people are going to judge you either way.
Absolutely, for sure, and I definitely second what you're saying there. And just before we do close this off, finish the interview, I know that you're fully focused on the 25th of October, but a guy that's always going to get mentioned with your name is obviously Conor Benn. His situation is still up in the air, but when you mention big names, that is definitely one that you're still chasing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm chasing. I've stated I want the fight, and I'll take it. We'll take that fight should it come in a heartbeat. But he's irrelevant in the game right now. He doesn't have a license. It's all just kind of Instagram hype at the moment. It's not real. So, when he gets back in the game, that's a fight that I'm ready to take at the drop of a hat.
Absolutely. Harlem, as always, a pleasure to see you, mate. Always do appreciate catching up. And yeah, all the best for 25th October, mate. One I can't wait for. Top man.